Okay. Right, so just want to start by telling me what brings you to London today.
So I live in London. I'm a secondary school teacher from the United States, and I have come to participate in the peaceful protest for Black Lives Matter. We haven't been able to infiltrate that today because there's been a lot of people who are against the defacing of the statues, which has caused police to come out in force, which has sort of hindered our progress in finding a way into the right peaceful protest. None of us planned on defacing any statues or anything like that. We can understand why people do it, and I don't think they deserve to be harassed because spray paint comes off. Obviously, the Churchill statue gets defaced a bunch of times during the year, and he looks the same. The spray paint comes off. I don't understand why people are so irritated by.
So you're saying, are you saying that it's defacing a memorial or statue isn't a big deal?
Not when it can be fixed.
Not when it can be fixed.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes when they clean it off, it actually does wear down the monument. But
but so does people build statues out of marble, and marble naturally breaks down because it mixes with acids. So
yeah, and
it doesn't really matter
okay.
in the long run.
But do you understand why people would react to seeing their statues and memorials being defaced?
Yeah, I understand, but the whole point of the protest is to be disruptive and to bring attention to issues. We're talking about people who've lost their lives. Those lives can't be brought back.
I mean, the images of people, someone trying to set fire to the flags at the Cenotaph was that's the sort of thing that would cause a very emotional, possibly emotional reaction, because it means that, something like that means a lot to a lot of people.
I can only speak from an American perspective. A lot of people think that the flag doesn't back them up. The flag doesn't represent them. They're not represented properly in their nation, and so I think you have to just see from that point of view.
And
as well. I mean, it's not, for some people it's not going to be justified either way, but for people who believe fundamentally that their rights are different than yours, when they burn a flag, it means that they're saying this flag doesn't protect me, this flag doesn't represent me.
Right.
So, but I can understand why it would be.
Yeah, because to a lot of people, I mean, for that particular flags, those particular flags on the Cenotaph, those flags represent, the people who fought for this country against fascism, against the Nazis, and so if people see it in a very, very different way, don't they?
They do,
yeah. And I've seen a lot of people say in response to Black Lives Matter is all lives matter. What's your feeling on that?
Well, in the UK, black people only make up 3% of the population, but 8% of them die once in police custody. So they're the only one where it's disproportionately high. And so to me that says that black lives don't matter in the UK, and the same thing happens in the US.
Right.
And so you can't say all lives matter until literally all lives matter.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. We're not, just because we're saying black lives matter, we're not saying that
you're not saying non-black lives don't matter,
exactly.
Are you? Yeah, you're not saying that. And it's interesting you say that, because I've heard people say when we say all lives matter, we're not saying black lives don't matter.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying that the system in which our societies are built have proven that black lives don't matter to it. And so that's why we say black lives matter versus all lives matter, because the system in place in the UK and the system in place in the US, they systematically are against and biased towards people of color. And
so you mentioned 8% of
all the people who are in contact with the police for any crime or any suspicion of a crime. So like the number of white people who have contact with police in the UK, it's proportional to their presence in the population.
Right.
Black people are the only ones where it's not, where you only make up 3% of the population, but 8% of the people who are picked up by police, and then in that 8%, they tend to, they're more likely to die.
And I've spoken to other people, and you don't think class, do you think class has anything to do with it? And economic status?
I mean, yeah, definitely.
And also, I say general demographics and where different populations, just the makeup of different populations around the country. So, for example, you know, a white working class, unemployed person living in a council estate will have probably a very similar. Would you say they have more or less opportunities as a non-white person in the same position?
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak in reference to the U.S. because I haven't been here as long, and I'm trying to get more educated on how the UK is different. I think that there tends to be things. Basically, in the U.S., what they do is they set like property tax in a way that creates sort of ghettos where people of certain races congregate together. And so then what they do is that because the school system is based off of property tax, if you have low property tax, you have low education. So those students are less likely to get out of their situation. Than non. What
would you say is a solution to that problem?
I think it's a barbaric way to distribute money for education, and so basically they need to do it in a more fair way. I think a lot of it has to do with also gerrymandering, where they split the counties in such a way to maximize the Republican vote usually, and so because of that, when they draw the lines for the counties, it's not equal.
When it comes to, say, government housing, would you say they should make the government housing a lot more diverse? So assigning poor white families with poor non-white families.
Yeah, I mean, I think that...
And essentially that would be telling people where to live, even though a lot of people naturally will often choose to live with people that they're more familiar with. And we get that particularly over here. Is when we get migration into the country, even across Europe, it's completely normal at the moment for people to choose to live with people from their own community, from their own country. And then what happens then is it creates ghettos. Sorry, just plugging this back in. It creates ghetto-like situations. And so I think
there's a difference between choosing that and being forced into it based on your socioeconomic state.
Right.
So I think people who are non-white have every right to sort of immerse themselves in whatever culture that they're from. I don't think they're the ones stopping white people from hanging out with them. I think other groups who find it difficult to integrate themselves into minority groups, and because that they sort of develop their own ideas on that.
Okay, and is there any other points you want to get across or want to talk about?
Not really. I mean, just if you lower the funds of the police, you can redistribute those funds to other public services like education, healthcare.
So do you support defunding the police?
Yeah, it's not what it sounds like though. The police obviously are a vital portion of society.
Okay, so you're not in favour of abolishing the police?
I can see where it would work in some situations, like the Minneapolis police, where they want to get rid of them.
So no police from Minneapolis?
That's what they're thinking. But in America, there's also sheriffs, so it's not like there would be no government.
Well, if there's no police at all to uphold law and order, how can they function?
Well, people found when police officers that did less aggressive policing of like minor
so
crimes,
reform.
That overall crime went down actually. So I just think if there weren't as many police and they weren't looking to find issue with people, there would be less instances of them.
Yeah, I do think,
getting their back up.
you know, as someone from the outside looking in, I do think is it extremely necessary for every single school to have a police officer. You know, we see lots of cases of children, sometimes very, very young children, being put into handcuffs, and at a school, you know. And I get where people are coming from when they say that's should be more for social workers, especially trained people, rather than police officers. You know, in the UK, we do have we have a system like that in place in some places where you've got a school with a mental health worker or a school with a social worker, and they know how to deal with difficult situations a lot better than what a police officer is trained to do.
They're not given as much training in de-escalating problems as they are in weapons use. And so it's not that they don't have a role to play, it's just that their role has gotten unwieldy.
Yeah.
And they're just human beings with their own biases that they bring into the job, like a teacher, like any other public servant. If you're not equipped to handle that, you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, and I can imagine, has it been quite a difference for you to experience officers over here with no firearms?
A little bit. I'm a bit surprised what they show of force today. But I will say that they seemed mostly to be not looking for like Black Lives Matter protesters, but the people who were trying to protect the statues, because a lot of those people appear to be drunk.
Yeah, I've just gone. I was at Parliament Square earlier, and there was a lot of alcohol, but that's can be expected with sort of crowd.
But I just think they wanted to make sure they didn't do anything they would regret later.
Yeah. And
thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else you want to know? Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you.